Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Welcome to NerdTube, and it's time to talk about the long-awaited season 2 of Peacemaker. We're talking about episode 1 here. I'm with Cheeto, the ties that grind, and I have to say it's definitely a return to form, as far as I'm concerned, straight off the bat. Cheeto, how did you find the first episode?
I thought it was all right. I thought the hardcore stuff was pretty good. Her struggle with
Oh, hardcore,
toxic
you mean?
hardcore.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
I thought you said hardcore. I think
No,
okay,
hardcore. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Her struggle with toxic masculinity, even though she's a woman, is just I busted out laughing at that. But yeah, no, I thought it was a good like kickoff to this season. I'm interested to see where they go with it because I'm hoping they don't just do the whole. Oh, he's now he's this version of Peacemaker in this world, and now he's conflicted on where. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of a basic multiversal plot, but if they do it right, it could be good.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they merge this because he's obviously from the Snyderverse, our Peacemaker, but it looks like he's hopped into the James Gunn verse. Um,
Actually, I don't think so because they actually changed the ending of season one. Like the
yeah,
Justice.
Guy Gardner was in it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
So I think technically he just basically like I thought that was what they were gonna do with
yeah,
the
you're right. I never
multiversal plot.
realized. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that that's how they were gonna bring him into the James Gunn verse, the DCU, from the DCEU. But at this point, I don't know, and I don't know how they're gonna do it. As I said, it's all kind of muddy, and we'll see how it goes. But no, I agree with you. I think that would have been the way to do it. They're literally doing a multiversal plot. They could literally just do that.
yeah. I mean, because to a degree, um, only Aquaman and Flash were revealed at the end of season 1
Mm-hmm.
as cameos. It could work around that, I guess, yeah. But yeah,
I think they just retconned it is what they did. Like it's now DCU instead of DCEU, which is whatever at this point.
yeah. Well, we got a new intro as well.
Oh
What did you
God,
think of
I hate
that?
those intros. I really do. I think they're so stupid. Like it's just so we talk a lot about our friend Ginger Greek, who absolutely hates James Gunn, and I actually but I agree that like sometimes he is a bit like James Gunn is a bit extra, and like this is one of those examples of him being extra, in my opinion. Like these intros are just too much dumb shit.
I don't mind it too much. I actually thought the first one was better than the second one. The second one felt a little bit more somber, but I like the fact that they're not. Usually, when you see dance routines, everyone's supposed to be smiling and happy or whatever. The fact that they're straight faced as well, which is another thing. But at least if they continue to form, then every season will have a unique dance routine, I guess. But fair enough. So he wants to join the Justice Gang. Peacemaker does, and we get some amusing moments at the very beginning. Prior to that, by the way, we go into that vault which his dad created. It's really funny. I always found his dad to be a very unique person because his dad was not only uber racist, but let's be honest, his dad's a fucking super genius. You
Mm-hmm.
know, to create what he has created, you know, like his dad did all of that, and not only has he created some interdimensional portal, it's an interdimensional sort of gateway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because we see that one guy, well, that one creature, dumping a dead rat or a dead kitten or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the space between type thing. Like it's kind of like
Yeah,
the space between dimensions or something like that. I'm guessing is what it is. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I
So, yeah, we saw a bit more of that, and I thought he was going to get lost in there with all these different doorways, but he finally finds another door eagerly. Kind of makes him go there, and then we kind of see inside, and like the home is a little bit more lush, but we don't really get to see much for the first time round. But we see his dad, and he goes, "Hey, son," and he shits himself when he escapes. But after being rejected by the Justice Gang, and that bit was, I don't know if you thought that scene was funny or not.
Oh, I thought that was. I mean, the whole like the button didn't work thing. Like, I was like, okay, I guess that it was all right, but I did think that was funny. It's just like I don't know. I
So
just
what's
can't
the name of
believe that they
Jim?
went through how many interviews and like nobody said anything until John Cena or Peacemaker.
Uh,
You know what I mean? Like I'm like I yeah,
uh, how, what's the name of James Gunn's brother? Because he was
Sean
in that
Gunn.
scene. Because he's now playing Max Lord,
Mm-hmm.
the character previously played by Pedro Pascal, and I
Yep,
wonder
in
if
Wonder Woman 84.
yeah, so we'll see where that goes. But I thought that was a bit unusual. But yeah, the hiring, nice little cameo from Guy Gardner
Hawk Girl.
and Hawk Girl. I don't know if we'll get to see any more of them, but yeah, because he didn't join the gang, he ends up basically having a mass orgy at his house. I don't know what you thought of that. There's going to be a lot of people who are going to be really upset with that scene
I
because
mean,
there's loads of flaccid penises everywhere. But
it doesn't
that shit doesn't
bother
bother me.
me. I just
It
was
doesn't bother
like
me either.
I mean like so and I did read I did see something online about, people like forewarning people like if you took your kids to see the Superman movie, do not let them watch Peacemaker. And I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be good." I'm like,
Well, they shouldn't have watched Peacemaker season one, let alone season two.
"You are correct.
So
I agree.
yeah,
Peacemaker is not a kid show."
it's not a kid show at all. So but that orgy was absolutely hilarious. But he's the only one not shagging. Everyone else is shagging except for him, but he's still
I
depressed.
honestly thought it was all in his head. Like and then all of a sudden he started like cuz like everything was kind of like all the lights and stuff and then like but then he went to walk through the house the one time and it was regular lighting and I'm like, "Oh, this is actually happening." Okay.
And then obviously his the guys who are spying on him because Rick Flag Senior is spying on him, and he's got his mate working for him as well. And he mentioned, yeah, there's a mass orgy there as well, but nobody knew. This is the funny thing. I never really realized that the sort of dimensional doorway was something that only he knew about. The rest of the gang didn't know about it, which was something I never really picked up on. Because what's his face when you saw the door open, you're like, "Wow, I can't believe it." But
Yep.
yeah,
It just makes me wonder
and
why the dimensional portal opening this time didn't flag. I guess maybe because of everything that happened with Superman, like maybe that made them start monitoring after, like that was after season 1. But yeah, I'm like wouldn't they just be monitoring for extra dimensional portals before that?
I have
Maybe.
no idea.
Neither do I. That's what I'm saying, like I have no idea.
Harcourt as well. Like she's I don't know what she's really going through. Yeah, she's been diagnosed with chronic toxic masculinity or something like that. So she decides to go to a bar because she knows, because she's a beautiful woman that she's going to get hit on immediately, and it's going to
Oh, and
make her
she was
start a
looking
fight.
for a fight.
Yeah, and yeah, and she had a fight and she beat up a whole bunch of bros, but eventually they were too much for her and she got the shit beaten out of her eventually.
Yep.
But she seemed really happy about it. You could see when she was looking at the moon, she smiled to herself. Yeah, this is what I want.
Yep.
So
Well, I mean,
also she's not keeping up with her bills as well as we saw when Peacemaker was at her house. So we'll see what happens with her in the upcoming future. I mean, she seems like she's got a cushy job working for the government.
yeah, but I think she's on like probation or something like that. Like that's kind of why she was in the that's why she was in the Sykes person's office before because she's basically on probation from like the CIA and the FBI and all those other things. So
this episode got really deep when Peacemaker did finally go. I can't really call him Chris. It just doesn't seem right. You know what I mean? you
Hmm.
know, and they still don't even know what his fucking surname is. But regardless,
They said it, and I don't remember. But Chris Smith, was it? Is it something stupid like Smith?
oh god, please don't let it be something as basic as that. But he finally decides to go check out that apartment, that alternative dimension again, and he's looking around, and the house is just lavish, and he sees like
Yeah, Chris
memorials
Smith. I
all
was right.
he sees memorials all over the place, and it's him, his dad, and his brother. The something trio, the mega trio, or
The
something like that,
ter-
the
yeah,
turbo
something
trio,
like that. I don't remember what it was.
and they're like proper heroes, saving the day and everything. And in this universe, which is obviously in a parallel universe, um, his brother's still alive. You know, I know him, his dad, his brother, they all just get along. He's supposed to be like he's obviously his doppelganger, the person that belongs in the universe that he was in, is in Bloodhaven, which is kind of convenient because they kept asking, "Are you supposed to be in Bloodhaven?" And all of that. And so with his real counterpart in Bloodhaven, he's able to replace him just temporarily, whilst him his dad, or he's not his real dad, but his doppelganger dad and his doppelganger brother are all having a laugh for the joke and chatting and reminiscing. And this is a life that he always wanted, to a degree. His
So
brother's alive. If they're happy families.
yeah. So this is one of those moments where I'm kind of like, if he really would have just explained it, like, because keep in mind his dad also in that universe probably built that space between, that space between
Mm-hmm.
dimensional door. So it's not like it's like so I bet you anything if he sat down with his dad and his alternate dad and was like, "Hey, I'm actually like from this alternate universe, like my dad in my universe also built the space, like the space between. I happened to notice that you had the same keypad. Like, I bet you if he explained like the entire thing, his dad would have understood, because you're right. Although his dad was in the DCEU, he was a racist and a piece of shit. He still was brilliant, and it seems like he's actually also brilliant in this timeline. So he probably would have been like, "Oh, that makes sense. Well, welcome. What's your universe like? Like, it probably would have saved us all of this." And I know plot, but still, it's one of those things where it's like, if you just would have explained it in the beginning, it would have saved a lot of trouble.
It's also like you can tell he's a good guy because his dad was blue in this universe, which I
Yeah,
think obviously
blue is a
counters to
much
red.
softer color than white and red.
Yeah, so that also kind of shows you that he is a good guy. But eventually, his brother and his dad, they go to bed, and he's just looking around at this lovely place. And then lo and behold, the real it's hard to say the real peacemaker, but the peacemaker of that universe shows up, and he fucks over our peacemaker big time.
Dude, those
You
things
know,
that came out of the side of his helmet and started like
those
grinding,
shurikens.
yeah,
Yeah.
grinding up his back. I was like, oh, 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 oh,
he's
God.
lucky he's so fucking thick. You know what I mean? To take that, because somebody like us we get sliced up immediately. But yeah, they were grinding through, but he managed to escape into that portal. And this particular peacemaker, like, he is really skilled up. He's got a boot, a rocket pack. He's got really cool weapons. And he manages to corner. I'll call him Chris this time for the sake of knowing who's who. And he corners Chris, and he punches him out a few times, and then he pulls out the spike from his glove like he's RoboCop, about to download some data.
I thought of that, and when I
Yeah.
saw that, I'm like, RoboCop. Yep,
Yeah,
I was right
man.
there. I thought either that or Assassin's Creed, one of the two. It's just a really long one.
Yeah, and he's about to put this one out. Like, this is the funny thing, though, because you would have thought this peacemaker, who seems to be more on the side of good, even though he's a a bit of a yeah, but he's still got similar traits to the other Peacemaker, which is
Yeah, he's
what
still
why they
still
are
a bit of
Peacemaker.
a dumbass. It seems like.
Well, just a bit of a brutalist. He looks at this guy, looks at him as a intruder. He's in his house, all of that. Probably doesn't want to ask any questions. Probably thinks he's a shapeshifter. Mentioned he was a shapeshifter and stuff like that. But he's not. He's got this particular Peacemaker down, and he doesn't ask him any more questions. He's just ready to kill him. I was kind of surprised, but and also before I continue on this, did you notice the emblems on the piece on that Peacemaker, like the dove on our Peacemaker, Christmas Peacemaker, it faces down,
Mm-hmm.
but the dove on the parallel universe Peacemaker faces up.
No, I didn't. I didn't notice
I
that, but I
noticed that.
mean, it
I
makes
noticed
sense.
that. Yeah, and but yeah, he hits the booster pack button and boom, alternative universe Peacemaker goes flying into the ceiling and gets stabbed.
Gets kebabbed.
Yeah, gets skewered, properly skewered, and dead.
Yep.
And and this is how the episode ends. It ends in a way that I found very intriguing because you do know that Cena's character will be probably jumping in between universes.
Well, I
Um,
think it's just going to be between those two universes. Like, I don't think it's going to be like Deadpool and Wolverine when they're jumping between different ones. I think it's just going to be, I think it's just going to be between those two.
I think he's gonna try and merge the universes,
Merge? What do you mean merge? Like, bring his
bring
people
them together.
over?
No, somehow combine them, like what they did at the end of of that was it Arrow, the Arrow, the crossover episode
Oh,
where they merged the universes.
that's a big leap from where we're at now. But I mean, how many episodes do we have? 8?
Let me
I'm looking now. But yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, we'll see.
eight episodes.
I don't know. That's a big leap, but we'll see.
Didn't get much of
Um,
Vigilante in this episode, which is a bit of a shame. I like Vigilante's character was brilliant in season one, absolutely fantastic. And here he is trying to be friends with what's his face and talk about his knowledge of owls,
yeah.
which is a bit silly in my opinion. Like, there were some silly moments, and that definitely was one of them. But I thought a lot of the humor did hit the mark. It's obviously going to be a bit raunchy. It's going to be R rated. It's going to
I mean, yeah, that,
be
but we expect that. I mean, Peacemaker season 1 made that very clear.
yeah, and all of that. And but I liked it. I like it. It's high energy. It's fun. This is it's good to see. This is like John Cena was born to play this role.
Yeah.
He's a really good actor. He's a really good actor when he has to be. Like he's done so much shit. When it comes to a lot of the films he's been pulling out recently, they're so bad. Ricky Stenicki and that State of the Union or whatever it was with Idris Elba. He's done a lot of crap. But this even though the one particular person we know considers this to be crap, this is some of his best stuff, and there's like a lot of range in his performances. Like he's a macho guy who deep down is quite vulnerable, and you saw that
Mhm.
in season one, and you're seeing that already in season two.
I mean, he's definitely a
Yeah,
lovable idiot. Like, I mean, like he definitely portrays the lovable idiot very well.
yeah. So I hope to get to see more of the other characters involved in this, and it'll be interesting to see where we go because we kind of knew about the butterflies thing quite early on in season one, but I don't know where we're going with this in
Yeah, it's going to
season
be a
two.
personal journey, I think. I think it's just going to be like he's going to try to take over this life and this other universe, and he's going to realize that it's not his real universe, and he's probably going to piss off his dad and his brother, and they're going to basically turn him away, and they're going to fight. And I think honestly, by the end of the season, I think Cena's, or well, Peacemaker is going to either accidentally or have to kill his brother. Like, it's pretty dark, but I think that's where they might go with
Oh,
it.
I can imagine his brother wanting revenge for his brother, his real brother,
His
being
real brother.
killed
Yeah, that's what I
by
mean.
yeah,
So I think
yeah,
John's, and then I mean we also have Rick Flag Senior, Frank Grillo's character. Like that's Rick Flag's dad. So
yeah,
how's he going to play into it? That's an interesting thing because Peacemaker did kill Rick Flag in the Suicide Squad movie.
yeah.
I mean,
His
he
assistant,
knows Cena killed him.
his assistant's a bit of a head turner. You know, I like the bit when he was being interviewed. He said, you know, that he'd kill people, but they mostly deserved it. And then Max Lloyd said, "Well, what about the ones who mostly didn't deserve it?" You know, like, and you couldn't really find a response to that. That was brilliant.
Yeah.
So,
As I said, I mean,
but
there's some clever things in this show. As I said, it's hard for me to rate like so. There's obviously an overarching like that's why I hate ranking episode by episode sometimes because like when you have an overarching storyline like this, like it's hard to rank an episode on its own because we're just getting the tip of the iceberg. You know
a
what I
second
mean?
episode would have been good, or you know, maybe two episodes
Yeah,
would have been good. Would have been good just to really get us to grips with what we're getting involved in.
yeah,
But still, you know, I think we pretty much got as much out of this episode as we can. We have to rate it regardless.
yep.
What are you gonna give it?
I'm gonna give it a 7. I thought it was good, but nothing. It didn't blow my mind away, but at the same time, it's kind of what I expected going into it. You know, the same shenanigans, multiversal stuff. I'm kind of disappointed that like the other universe is not the DCU because that was a perfect opportunity to kind of, you know, do that whole thing, just getting them transferred
Um,
over. Um, Instead, they just go with the retcon route, which
yeah, I'm not a fan with that. This has made things more complicated.
yeah,
If
when they
anything,
have like this perfectly good explanation of how he gets into the DCU right here in front of us. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so
But they want to do a bit of multiverse, so yeah, I'm not surprised. But yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna give it. I had a good time with this episode. I really did, and I was really happy to be back. I would like a little bit more from some of the supporting characters who, in my opinion, really add to the show, like Vigilante.
I think he's going to be
But
more in next week's episode because
yeah,
I think Chris is going to bring in. I think he's going to bring him in next week and like kind of show him like he's going to need some help disposing of other Peacemaker's body or so. Who knows? Who knows? But I think he's go. I think Vigilante is going to be in there next week. I think he's going to. And I do. I agree with you. I really like Vigilante's character. I think he's fun.
yeah. I just
Yeah.
that moment when he was in season one when he went into jail and he just beat the shit out of everyone. He really felt like in his element, you know. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, yeah, I think I give it an 8. I had a good time. I'm really happy to be back. This is one of this is like as much as people might have criticisms of James Gunn here and there. In my opinion, we're in his element. This is
Mm-hmm.
him at his best, where he's unchained and he can, you know, he's not restricted by ratings and stuff like that. You know, he's just full out, just being he's able to give everything on a page here with no restriction. So yeah, I had a really good time, and I don't hate him as much as some people we know. I don't hate him at all, to tell you the
I
truth.
was about to say I don't
I don't
listen.
hate him at all.
I liked his like. Listen, was I like in awe of his Superman movie? No, but I still thought it was good. And I
I
mean,
had
like
fun with his Superman film.
Peacemaker season 1 was really good, and this is really good. I've only seen a little bit of Creature Commandos. I didn't really get into that, but like, not everything is going to be a home run. But yeah, some people just don't like James Gunn for some
Suicide
reason.
Squad.
Yeah, and the Suicide Squad. I like the Suicide Squad. I thought it was
It was
fun.
okay. Yeah. I thought it was okay, but I had you know, and obviously done really well with the Guardians of the Galaxy films. You know, so I don't have this issue with him like a lot. Yeah, there are directors and writers out there that they have a particular element about them that you can see it in their filmmaking. You know, but I had no problem with no issues. I didn't have too many issues with actually let me rephrase myself. I only had a handful of issues with the Superman film. You know, for me, one of the significant elements was to make him a hero again, and James Nunn nailed that. You
Yeah,
know, he absolutely
he
nailed
is.
that.
You can tell
So
he's absolutely a Superman fan.
yeah, so and all of that, and regarding Peacemaker, he's a very unique character to a degree, bit of an enigma for most people, regardless of whether you're a comic book nerd or not. So
But that
this
gives
is a
him a lot.
person,
That's like with the Guardians. It just gives James Gunn
yeah,
a lot to play with, and he can do a lot with that.
yeah, make it his own,
Yeah.
which is what he's done. So
Yep.
yeah, I'm already looking forward to the next episode. That's so yeah, wonderful. All right, so let's just quickly end this by saying that in a couple of weeks' time we'll be doing a review of whatever doing DC. We'll be doing a review of a DC fan film, a Batman DC fan film made by No Budget Productions. So keep an eye out us for that when we do that review. And we'll be doing a live um, watch along as well as an interview of some of the actors and performers of that fan film, including Vance Major and Josh Irwin, who are two of the most significant stars of that film. So keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, also keep an eye out for all of our other reviews, TV, movies, wrestling, you name it. I'm sure somebody will be doing a review of Clash in Paris, probably me, next week of the
Wee
WWE.
wee.
So yeah, lots to come. Don't forget to like, share. Thank you, Cheeto. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest social media channel you never heard of.